Yo, this is your boy Ringo back again with a new video. Ringo Kicks. Yo, this video here is pretty much needed. And I decided to pretty much talk about this issue because here on Ringo Kicks, Ringo TV Raw, we believe in educating the sneaker community so that they're up on the game and what's going on. Now, today's topic, what we're going to deal with is a subject matter that people don't really know about, and they wondering why they're unable to get certain kicks on release day. They're blaming resellers. They are pretty much not aware of the situation. So hopefully I will be able to break down a few things to make you understand why you shouldn't blame resellers for the lack of shoes in retail stores. There is something that goes on release day known as backdooring, where a retail shoe store that sell popular brands, they would sell shoes through the back door for a certain price to certain individuals. And this particular practice is not new. This particular practice been going on even from the 90s. And it's something that been so hidden, but now, the common sneakerhead or hype beast should know about this, because it's the practice of a retail store making more money for a pair of shoes than what they normally should be making. Let me break it down for you. When a retail store who is an authorized dealer have a contract with a brand, he's supplied a certain number of shoes, like the certain run of shoes. And once he get that certain run of those shoes, it is already determined how much money and profits he would make from that particular run of shoes. So if you got from size 8 all the way to size 13, and you have a certain amount of 11 and a halves, a certain amount of 10 and a halves, whatever the case is, you can calculate pretty much how much money you're going to make off that release. So companies already know what they're going to make on release day for a pair of shoes. They understand the profits. But what they're trying to do is make more money. And being that these retail stores are in agreement with the brand names, right? They have certain rules that they must follow. These rules prevent them from raising prices and trying to make more money than what they normally could get. These particular companies aren't allowed to get an excessive amount of sizes. There are certain shoe sizes that sell more than some. Preferably like size 9.5, 11.5. Those particular sizes, they sell out very fast. So most companies, if it was up to them, they'll be like, look, give me 100 pairs of this size. Give me 200 pairs of that size. It don't work like that. That's not how it works when you is in the shoe game and you have a retail store. They give you a certain run of shoes so that you're able to supply the need of everyone who have different variety of shoe sizes. Now, you already done know what shoe sizes sell out the most because of release day, and when people come, they normally buy out a certain size. And you would want to buy a stack of shoes in that size run because that's your best seller. That's how you make money fast. But because of this, because they're not allowed to get a certain amount of shoes, they decided the best way of making more money to increase our profits is backdooring. Now, some retail stores will backdoor shoes at retail for people they know, whereas most of them will get probably double the amount for the same shoe that they would sell at, $200. They'll sell for $400 through the back door. Now, what that does, it gives them a profit of $200 as if though they sold 2 pair of shoes when they only sold 1. Because what you have to understand is that authorized dealers are only authorized to sell the shoes that they were given. And this is something that most people don't understand. It's like you go to a shoe store, you think that these stores, they just have a bunch of shoes in the back hiding because they don't want to give you the shoes. No, they're supplied a certain amount of shoes. You understand? No different than the music game. Certain retail stores, they're given a certain amount of CDs to sell. And by the way in which they sell those CDs will determine what else they get. And when you're a store that you're able to pretty much move a lot of CDs pretty fast, then your company and the company that's supplying you, you'll develop a good relationship with them, and maybe they'll give you more, because they realize that through your store you're able to move a lot of supply. No different than in the drug game. If you are being supplied and you're able to move a lot of weight all over that block, and you're able to move all of that and make money quick, then your supplier is going to be more comfortable giving you more supply. Do you understand my point? Okay, so once you have that in place and you understand that shoe stores are only given a certain amount of shoes, you'll know why on release day, why it's so difficult to get a pair. Because a lot of these retail stores are not making the money that they want to make. Because once they get their run of shoes, they know automatically this is what we're going to make off this release. They already did the math. But they want to make more money, but they can't because they're authorized dealers. They're authorized to pretty much only sell the shoe at retail price to make this amount. So what are they doing? They're backdooring those shoes. Or they'll sell off half of their inventory to resellers. You understand what I'm saying? And this is why you see some resellers selling a shoe that costs $200, and they'll have that very same shoe on eBay or some other site for $1,200. And you're wondering, how does a shoe jump from $200 to $1,200? Well, because these particular resellers, because most of them are not really smart. I'm just keeping it a buck with you. If they don't know anything about wholesaling shoes, then they're going to be buying shoes at retail price, thinking that they could just go flip it, when really that's not really the smart way. The best way is to actually understand how to get shoes at wholesale prices. That way you're getting the shoes at the lowest possible price there is, so that when you sell the shoe at a low price, you're still making a profit, a major profit. Most resellers don't know about that. There's a difference between being a reseller and a wholesaler. You see, a reseller literally is someone who will go stand in line for a raffle to get a shoe at retail price so that he could go sell that very same shoe. Now, I think that that's stupid because, number one, you're on a line wasting your life away for a shoe that's going to cost $200 and something, and then once you get that shoe for $200 and something, now you're trying to sell that shoe for 2 to 3 times the price. That's why you see these shoes at all these crazy prices, and you wondering, like, who in their right mind sells shoes at that prices, and why would people buy that? Because, to be quite frank, a lot of people are stupid. It's just that simple. If you don't know something, you're gonna go and make a foolish decision. Like, I'm not gonna spend $600 for no shoe. I'm not spending $1,000 for no damn sneaker, man. You gotta be kidding me, man. Number one, we're not talking about some Louis Vuitton. We're not talking about some high-end shoe. And even if it is a high-end shoe, I'm not spending that kind of money on that stuff. Now, if I'm a multi-millionaire, I got billions of dollars, then yeah, of course, But now if I'm just the average guy, 9 to 5, you making a certain amount of money a year, I don't got time to be buying no Louis Vuitton every damn day. Come on, man. You fooling yourself. There's ways to get all of that stuff. There's ways to get every shoe that you could possibly imagine. There's ways of getting it. The problem is education. If you have the right education, if you have the right knowledge, then you're able to understand how to get certain things. There's certain ways of getting retail shoes below retail from retail stores. But you just got to know the season in which to get them, such as sales, using coupons, and so forth. You got to know how to utilize that stuff. But now, I want you to understand that backdooring shoes is something that goes on in every sneaker store. And I'm throwing out brands. I don't care. Foot Locker, Champs, any sort of shoe store you know about. All the big chains, even that Levi's release that they had for the Jordan 4 denims, all of those stores, every single store does backdoor deals. You name it. Every single store. Your Finish Lines, House of Hoops, you name it. All of these stores, if they are retail stores that sell shoes, they backdoor sell. It's just that simple. Those places are some of the most treacherous places you can go into when it comes to buying shoes, because you'll walk into a store and you'll be like, yo man, you got the such and such Jordan? Well, we're sold out, bro. We're sold out. They're not sold out. They got like 30 of them in the back waiting for somebody. They're not sold out. That's something you don't know. They're not sold out. You got workers who work inside these sneaker stores that backdoor shoes. The company don't even know that their own worker is embezzling shoes from the store, which is the money. And this is happening every single day. Where do you think people get connects from? And I don't really consider a connect someone who work at a shoe store. I don't consider that a connect. I consider that just somebody who is robbing shoes from a store and hooking you up. That's not really a connect to me. A connect is someone who got the buzz of a wholesaler and you're able to get shoes below retail prices at pretty much pennies, man. And that's a connect, because that person is the type of person that could supply a store. You understand? A connect is someone who have access to someone who have access to someone who have the supply. That's a connect. Someone who can connect you with someone who's able to give you the service of what you need. That's a connect. But if you just got some hookup at the local shoe store, that's not really a connect, because that can literally go bad for the worker if he get caught, because everything they're doing is pretty much under the table. It goes against company policy. And see, this is how you know that retail stores do a lot of dirt. A lot of times you think they're official. There's a lot of dirt that goes on. A lot of the big brands, a lot of the companies like Kith, backdoor sales, man. A lot of these stores, a lot of these boutiques, they all do backdoor deals, man. Don't be fooled. Do not be fooled. And like I told you already, man, here on Ringo Kicks, I keep everything a buck. I don't care about those shoe companies, if you calling out names, they may not want to send you no shoes and no gifts and all this other. I don't care about all of that stuff, man. I don't care about all of that. At the end of the day, if a shoe company or a brand or whatever want to send me something to review on my channel, right? Then that's on them if they want to send me something. I'm not one of these shoe tubers who bow down and kiss behind and always want to praise all of these different shoe companies and retail stores. Oh, thanks for giving me this pair of shoes and I really appreciate it. Man, stop being a damn slave. I keep everything a buck here. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth based on experience, man. I see stores doing backdoor deals. You understand? Listen, let me tell you something, man. I've been on lines waiting for shoes where they shut down the line, right? Sent everybody home, clear the line, call the cops, right? And right after everybody leave, I kind of just stayed in the cut, sitting on the sidelines, and then went back to the store and was like, yo, man, you got those so-and-so kicks? And they're like, yeah, right here. And they sold me the pair. But they just shut down the line, told everybody go home. But they gave me the pair, you see? So you have to understand that these stores do a lot of dirt. And you know, what's funny is when they sold me the pair, they were like, yo, don't tell nobody that we sold it to you because we don't want no crowds coming back to the store. I kid you not, man. That's what they told me. And you think I'm not going to tell somebody that I know, yo, go over there and get the kicks? Of course I'm going to tell them, go get the kicks, man. I don't care about what this company's saying. They backdoor dealing. I mean, you know how it go. You know, if I know my bro or whatever could get a pair of kicks right now, I'd be like, yo, go get the release, man. Go get it. It is what it is. I'm just keeping everything a buck. That's what goes down, man. All of these stores backdoor. All of them. They do it because they're not really making the profits that they want. So they sell shoes through the back door to resellers. A lot of times when you go to a shoe store and it's on release day and you're wondering why they always shutting down lines and why they always want to stop the main people from buying, why they delaying all this stuff, because they're doing backdoor deals. Your money don't mean nothing, bro. That's what I'm trying to show you. Listen, even when it comes down to the whole Levi's release that they had that failed, if you watch my videos on that, you will gain an understanding of what I'm talking about. Levi's pretty much prevented a whole group of people from getting kicks, claiming they shutting it down because some people previously were acting wild, right? But yet they're denying us the shoes. Why? Because they don't really want our money. They got money that's coming in from resellers. See, if the store is selling the shoe for $225 a pop, right? Yet a reseller is willing to give them $300 a pop or $350. It all depends on how they make this deal. A reseller might say, look, give us $320. I'll give it to you for $325 for one. $325. You know, they made $100 under the table. Now imagine if they sold 30 shoes. They made a little bread. You get what I'm saying? That's what's going on in these stores. They'll sell off half of their entire run of shoes to resellers because they know resellers don't have a wholesaler. Do you understand? There's a difference between having a wholesaler who's selling you shoes from a reseller. You understand? Back in the day, I used to sell shoes, so I know about this. Back in the day, I used to sell shoes. I'm not sure if most of you remember, but on my Ringo for Life channel, I used to sell shoes. I used to have ads. I used to make video promos for the shoes I used to sell. And I used to sell women's shoes. You understand? And everything was going pretty good. You know, everything was going pretty good with the business. But after a while, things started to slow down because back then I really wasn't focused the way I needed to be. And my promotion level wasn't as high as I should have had it. And there's a lot of things I didn't know, but I do know one thing. I understand how to get shoes at wholesale prices because I would buy, women's sandals and high heels and so forth. I used to get all my stuff at wholesale prices from different companies. And, I would buy them probably like around, you could say $7 at wholesale price. And I would sell that very same shoe for probably somewhere around $50 to $60, the very same shoe. So I got the shoe for like $7, sometimes between $5 to $10. I would get the shoe at wholesale prices. But you got to buy them in a certain run. That's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. It when you buy from wholesalers, it's not like I could say, let me get all 7.5s. No, it don't work like that. You got to buy all the run. And sometimes as the shoe get to the higher sizes, you get less. So you'll get a lot of sizes. You'll get a lot of shoes in like the smaller sizes. But as you get to your 10, 11, 12s and so forth, what happened is you get probably like 3 or 4. And sometimes that can cause a company to miss out on extra sales. And if they wanted more 13s, they gotta go buy a whole nother run of shoes. So sometimes you'll have a certain size that's still sitting. You understand? So you have to understand the entire game of buying shoes at wholesale prices and versus getting shoes as a wholesaler where you buying it from a retail store trying to flip it. This is why resellers sell shoes at crazy prices, because they're not getting them at wholesale prices. If you're buying a shoe at wholesale price, there won't be no need to sell it at $1,000. You understand? There's no need for that because you got it at a very good price, so you're going to make a profit regardless. See? So back to the point, these shoe stores, these retail stores are backdooring shoes because they're not making the profits that they want to make. And they found that there's a new way to make profits without them pretty much getting caught in terms of violating their agreement with the companies like Jordan Brand, Nike, so forth. Because they're only authorized to sell shoes at a certain price point, and this is what they're going to get. So if I was given 100 pair of shoes from Nike, I would know exactly how much money I would make. You understand? But now if I take those 100 pair of shoes and I sell 50 of those shoes through the back door, I'm going to make me more money. And that's what's going on in these stores. This is why when you go to get a shoe on release day, you're like, wait, the shoe sold out that fast? Or have you ever tried to buy a shoe online and for whatever reason, they say the shoe is going to release at 10, right? You're next to your computer, it hits 10, you immediately throw the shoe in your cart to check out, and it says the shoe is sold out already. And you're wondering, why the hell the shoe sold out? Oh, it must be bots. It must be these hackers. No, it's not the hackers, it's not the bots. These are things I used to believe. It's none of that. The shoe store, the retailer, the person who is running the show online, literally will make you think the shoe sold out. And those shoes that you were so anxious to buy is being sold to wholesalers at a higher price. That's exactly what's going on. It's a little dark little secret that's going on, and I'm exposing that right now because it's going on right now. The sneaker game is ruthless. The sneaker game is like a drug game, like I told you, man. Sneakers and shoes is heavy, man, and a lot of stuff is going down, man. Some retail stores may follow the books and do things the right way, but at the end of the day, this is all about money and profits, man. That's what this is about. So the next time you try to blame a reseller for why you can't get your shoes, it's not the reseller, man. The reseller cannot sell anything unless he's getting it from a supplier, and the supplier is normally the retail store. I'm telling you, man, because the reseller is not getting his shoes from wholesalers, even though some resellers actually get from wholesalers. There are resellers who get shoes from wholesalers, but I don't know why they would want to sell shoes at crazy prices. You understand? The ones who sell the shoes at the crazy prices, to me, are getting it directly from a retail store. There are some resellers that sell shoes at reasonable prices. I believe those are the ones who are getting their supply from wholesalers, because normally resellers like that have a large number of shoes. Anytime you see a reseller with a large number of shoes, but they're able to sell them at reasonable, affordable prices, they're getting supplied from a wholesaler. That way, when they sell you a shoe at a decent price, they're making a profit. Why? Because the more shoes they're selling, they're literally eating very well. You see, whereas a reseller who's buying from a retail store, that person is struggling to make ends meet. They're pretty much struggling. But this is what's going on, and I really hope that people out there are learning that the sneaker game is crazy. And standing by these stores and shopping at these stores, if you're lucky, you'll get a shoe at retail prices. But if a store is not really making the money they feel they should be making, they're gonna hold back that shoe that is popping, and they're gonna sell that to a reseller or to their buddies, a family member. This goes on every single day. So don't think for a minute that every retail store is running all perfect and everybody's good. No. A lot of the workers in these stores, they take shoes and they sell them to their buddies, or they hold shoes, or they pay managers. Yo, man, here's $100, man. You gonna hold that shoe for me? All right, bruh, I'll hold that shoe for you. They're not supposed to be doing that. They're not supposed to be doing that. Because if they get caught doing this type of stuff, then the top brand that's working with them will revoke their contract, and pretty much they won't be supplied no shoes no more. Have you ever been to a certain shoe store that once sold a certain brand and now they don't sell it no more? And you wondering why they ain't selling that shoe no more, bro? Why you don't got no more? Because they violated the contract. They got caught doing something that the manufacturer, or not the manufacturer, the brand didn't like. You see, when you're an authorized dealer, you have a contract with that brand to do as you're told, pretty much. So if you're out there trying to do your own thing, that will violate your contract, and now that brand won't want to work with you no more. They won't supply you with no more shoes. See? So this is why you have a lot of companies that are playing by the rules, because they don't want to lose that little bit of money. But to tell you the truth, when these big shoes are released, a lot of times these companies are not really all that excited, because they know they're not really making the kind of money they would like to make. Resellers are making the real money. Resellers are making the real money, because there is always going to be somebody that's going to come along to buy a shoe at a crazy price. And when a reseller sells a pair of sneakers, just selling one pair is like selling 4 to 5 pairs at once. Whereas the retail store, when they sell one pair, that's it. And once those pairs are done, that's all the profits they make. It ain't like they could go order more. You understand? Once these Jordans or whatever shoes sell out, or a pair of Yeezys or whatever, once they sell out, they're out. That's it. Now that retail store ain't making no more money after that. But a reseller who may have a contract or some sort of connect to a wholesaler is able to continually have supply and sell shoes over and over and over and over and over and make a killing. See? So there's a big difference between being a reseller and a person who is just selling shoes in a retail store. Once your retail store runs out of shoes, that's it. You're pretty much done unless there's a restock. And that restock can only be allowed if the brand decides to supply you with more shoes. And it's always at their best interest, you see? So that's pretty much it. I think I said enough on this particular topic. I just wanted to throw that bit of information out there for you to understand, the whole idea of how shoe stores be backdooring, shoes. A lot of times these shoes go to resellers. They go to resellers, they go to friends, family, and they do it because they know they're going to make more money. At the end of the day, the bottom line is money. If I know I can make more money selling shoes through the back door, then that's the move I'm going to make. And that's what these stores are doing. And a lot of times the managers in these stores know about it. The workers in the stores know about it. Everybody know about it. You see, it's like one big family. Everybody knows what we're doing. And sometimes there's this one worker in the store that may know about it, but they're not with it. And that may be the worker that will tell and be like, yo, they're selling all the stuff to people through the back door, man. What's up with that? And now the store will get shut down and the brand won't want to supply them no more. This is why when you have certain releases of Jordans or certain shoes, you're wondering why that store didn't get it, or why that store didn't get the big release, because that store been doing a lot of dirt. So the brand not supplying them the big shoe releases. They'll supply them the basic stuff, but they're not going to get supplied the big release shoes. And another thing you have to understand is when you have a retail store that sells shoes like from Jordan or whatever, when you buy like the big shoes, the shoes that everybody sought after, you also have to get shoes that people don't want. You know, like the regular shoes, you have to buy all of that stuff too. That comes with the deal. You see, and a lot of times those are the shoes that sit and they never hardly ever sell. So being a retail retail store that just sells an authorized, if you just want to be an authorized dealer, you have to play by a certain set of rules, which mean you got to buy the whack shoes and the good shoes all at the same time. And most of these companies already know you're not going to sell off all those whack shoes because nobody going to want them. So this is how you got to try to figure out how you're going to make money. And remember, you're buying everything at wholesale price. So you have the option of, you know, selling it at retail or selling it below retail when they're not selling. That's where you see stores drop the prices on shoes, and sometimes they drop it 50%. And you're probably saying, well, how are they making money if they dropped it 50%? They're still making a profit, because remember, if they buy it at wholesale price, you're still making a profit if you drop it at 50%. You see? So understanding how all this stuff works will help you to better understand why most retail stores are backdooring shoes on release day. A lot of times when you go online to shop and the shoe just sell out and you're wondering what's going on, in most cases it did not sell out. The online store is holding them back because they're selling them to resellers. This is why right after the release, you see eBay flooded with shoes and you're wondering where these people are getting their supply from. Where? They're getting them from these very same retail stores that are selling to the resellers. Some resellers get their stuff from wholesale companies, some getting them directly from factories, some of them are getting them mostly from retail stores, and that's just how the business work, you know. And you know, it's sad, but it's a dog eat dog world, man. Anyway, leave your comments, your feedback. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe to my Ringo TV Raw channel and my Ringo Kicks channel and every other channel that I have. Find and subscribe. We out. Peace.